Some videos ago I did a choose your knife contest, and the theme was budget knives, and you guys chose the Herbertz knife the most. So in this video I will do a review about the Herbertz knife. So if you want to see more, keep watching. Hello YouTube, this is Dutch Bushcraft Knives, and in this video I'm going to do a review, or I'm just going to show you what this Herbertz knife in 420 is all about. This is about 30 to 35, 40 euro knife, so about $40 to $50. So for a 30 to 40 euro knife, it looks pretty good. It has a zebra wood, which is really nice. I like that they put a nice looking wood on a pretty cheap knife. And it looks like a little Bushcrafter, and they did a kind of pattern on the knife, yeah, to make it look cooler. It's not like it's hand forged or whatever. It's just a cool looking pattern. So yeah, this knife would probably be very attractive to people who start bushcrafting, or yeah, just want a good looking knife and don't want to spend much money on it. So yeah, let's see what this knife is all about. Do some testing. Alright, so I thought about a fun way to use this knife for a little bit of everything. So what I came up with is a one stick fire, and I think we can use this knife for all purposes with the one stick fire. We're gonna find a branch, a tree branch, and we're gonna chop it up, we're gonna baton it, we're gonna make feather sticks on it, and we're gonna see how this knife holds up. So a very all-round and usable bushcraft task for a knife. So a bushcraft knife, I think every bushcraft knife should be able to do stuff like that. So yeah, we're gonna put this to the test. Alright, let's start this test. This knife is now razor sharp, so it can shave my hairs very easily. Very easily. So yeah, let's make this fire. I think this will work. First I'm going to chop this up. Could also break this with my hands, but that will leave the fun out. Alright, so we have some little twigs. Completely cut, so that's nice. Alright, this is very moist, so I wonder how it will burn. Some batoning action. Alright, so let's see how this feather sticks. Alright, so let's try to make some feather sticks on this. Alright, so as you can see, quite a decent feather stick. Correction, a very excellent feather stick. So yeah, I'm gonna make a few of these and try to light it and see if we can make a fire. Alright, so I have the feather sticks right now, and now it is important that I have small enough sticks or pieces of wood that I can put on these first flames before it extinguishes. Because this first flame needs to dry out that piece of wood because it's still moist. And normally I would use the very tiny pine twigs, but as this is a one stick fire, that would be false play. So let's get to it. And what we can do is we can take a piece of wood like this and just take off little chunks, kind of rough feathers. Whoops. Cut. Alright, so I think we're ready to make a fire right now. So yeah, let's do this. So to make a fire without a scraper with your fire steel, you need a sharp spine on the back of your blade. And this knife, it doesn't have that. So I found that the tip of this knife is actually sharp enough, the tip of the spine is sharp enough to actually strike some sparks of this, as you can see. So a little bit awkward, but it should work fine. So yeah, let's make this fire happen. Alright, so let's see if we can get this fire to light. Alright, now I'm gonna put on these little things I made. Oh, this stuff is really moist. Alright people, we tried, we failed, but I'm not gonna give up. I'm just gonna make some new feather sticks. This stuff has become a little bit drier already. So let's see if we can do it now. Let's hope if it will work this time. Just made a giant pile of crap. This looks more like it, people. Alright people, it was kind of tough making this one stick fire with this very moist branch, but this fire won't go out. You can make this as large as you like. So yeah, we did make a fire eventually, and yeah, with one stick using the Herbertz. So I think this wasn't very demanding for this knife, but I don't think you would use a budget knife for very demanding tasks. Otherwise you would buy a quality knife or a premium knife. But it held up good. So let's give it a little bit more stress testing to see how the 420 holds up and if it has any kind of hot spots. Alright people, we did some stress testing with this knife, nothing too bad. We did some betoning on some small wood. We made some shavings with this knife. I really don't make those kind of shavings with my knives when I'm bushcrafting normally, because it's a really stressing way to test your edge, because the sidewash bending is dulling. But and we did some side against the grain splitting of the wood. So let's see how this knife held up. I'm gonna check out how sharp it still is after these kind of small tasks and a little bit of stress testing. Alright, so as you can see, it's still paper cutting sharp. Is it still shaving sharp? It still shaves a little bit, but on the edge we do have quite some edge problems on the edge. Nothing too bad, no chips or really rolls on this knife so far, but we only used it for about half an hour, so nothing too big of a deal. But overall, yeah, it performed pretty nice. But to be honest with you guys, I would always choose a Mora over this knife, because the Mora is, you can buy 4 Moras of the price of this knife, Mora companions. And overall the handle geometry of Mora is better. The steel performance of Mora's 12C27 is a lot better than this 420. But on the other side, this knife is a little bit more easy to sharpen. It is actually crazy easy to sharpen this knife. Almost never need to sharpen it, only strop it. That's what I'm going to do now. A few strokes on the black side, a few strokes on the white side. Edge problems are gone. And that's how we like a knife to be. Shaves like crazy again. So because this is quite a thin blade, it is a hollow ground. It's a thin blade, it's a hollow ground, and the 420 is pretty soft, so it's really easy to keep sharp. So that might be a nice feature for beginners. Also, you get almost everything on a budget scale of a more premium knife. So we have a leather sheath, which does its job. The quality is okay. Nothing too bad, but yeah, knife fits in there good. Doesn't come out. You have the wooden handle, which you find on more premium knives very often. You have that kind of classy or forged look on the blade itself. So overall, it's not an expensive knife. It's a pretty cool looking knife. Handle geometry is very decent. It's not the best, of course, but it's decent. Not as good as Mora, but for this 40 euros, you do get a pretty cool looking, cheap bushcrafting knife. Very easy to sharpen, so a very good starting knife. Alright, furthermore, the knife doesn't really strike a fire steel that well, only with the tip, but it's good enough. We can do it. And yeah, what more to say about this knife? Oh yeah. So let me give you my final conclusion of this knife, my personal opinion. I'm a steel freak, so I would actually never buy this knife again. But let's say I was someone who needed a knife. I have a max of $50 or 50 euros to spend, and I was looking for a cool looking bushcraft blade that does all the jobs. If I would be looking at a all-round knife, I would probably go with Mora, because yeah, you have a very good package, a very good knife for about 12 euros. But if I would need my knife to be a little bit stronger in terms of being full tang, being able to baton, I would go with this knife. So if I would need a knife that for my fire to baton small pieces of wood with, do some more heavy duty jobs where cutting, primary cutting, isn't really that big of a deal, I would probably go with this knife, because it is a little bit stronger, because it's full tang, a bit more thick, and yeah, so edge retention doesn't really matter in stuff like batoning and things like that. So in that case I would go with the Herbertz, and then in all other cases, if I just need a good cutting tool as a bushcrafter, feather sticking, stuff like that, I would definitely go with Mora. So people, I hope you liked this video. Please subscribe and like, and I hope to see you next time in the next video.